Breaking news, myths versus facts. Good morning. I don't know. I got this weird amount of energy all of a sudden as we started the show, and I was tired as hell. And now I think we're all tired as hell. But I'm excited, and I don't even know the other word. Excited that we're finally able to see these documents,
Yeah.
but I don't know the other word that I'm looking for. It's going to be really unfortunate to read the types of injuries that we're going to be
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've skimmed them. It is unfortunate to read it, but I agree with you. Like it's it's kind of a relief to know that it's available, opened up, and stuff like that.
After so long, you
Mm.
know, everything. There's still so many more things that are locked up, but yeah, after all this time, cuz we've all wondered since the since when it happened, like what exactly what exactly happened. Even when the photos were released, back then, the photos, even though they were redacted, you still saw and you still didn't see things that you would expect, and it's like, the okay, wait a minute, this is still confusing. Exactly
Yeah.
what happened, because you're being
Mm.
told certain things and certain things aren't there. but but there was a lot of redactions, um
Yeah.
but that's one thing I want to ask before we get into these autopsy results. And thank you all for joining. Appreciate you very much. Let me turn these comments on too. When the crime scene photos were released, what I thought it would have been a lot messier, especially with what Mabbit was saying in the very beginning. And we know the not we know the generalized idea of the weapon and what was done, and we saw the blood outside the house from Ethan in the very beginning from the
Yeah.
drone video. Um, what did you guys think when the crime scene photos got released? Did you think, oh, okay, it seems normal? Did you think there was stuff missing? Did you think there was things more than what you thought there would be? What do you guys think about that? I'll ask you first, Rosie. Like, what did you think when those came out?
I didn't think that it was unusual just because I think that a lot of people assume that bleeding is always external when it isn't necessarily always the case. So, I mean, the one thing that did surprise me was Xana's room, but there was a lot more movement in there than I had expected to see. But I wasn't very surprised when it came to like the quantity of bleeding or anything like that. And also it's like it's not like they showed us the whole scene, there were still things that we couldn't see. So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
So Xana's room really like stuck out to you, that there was a lot more movement than what you
Much more
thought.
movement. Yeah.
What do you think, Jennifer, when those photos got released? Was there not enough? Did it look normal? Like, what do you think?
I felt it was a normal crime scene. Like Rosie said, a lot of bleeding doesn't always happen outside the body either. Um, I I did get the impression that there was more of the scene that we weren't shown.
Yeah. With what I expected, I was shocked with number one. I was shocked with the table in the living room slash hallway of the second floor. That really was, to me, I was like, okay, how did nobody frickin' hear? Number one, with everything that took place, but with number two, if there was this movement from the third floor to the second floor chasing Xana, My God, you're gonna tell me that each one of those Xana and the killer were gliding like gazelles and slipped through the frickin',
Yeah.
there would have been a boom because the table slammed up against that half wall, right? That was the one thing that stuck out to me. The other thing was the photos of the one eye, bushy eyebrows on Dylan's wall, all over her wall. I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. One eye, bushy eyebrow. I see a bunch of one eye, bushy eyebrow artistic pictures and stuff. Interesting. Okay. And then also, I expected, because we got to think about the time limit, the time that this person was able to commit this crime very quickly. 4 people. We talked about the adrenaline and where it would run out plenty times. So it would have to be brutal and quick, right? If it fit in that time frame, that many people. So to me, I expected more splatter. I expected maybe not huge drops or huge, puddles everywhere. I mean, like splatter all over the place. Because again, I have to sit here and think, okay, it had to be quick and it had to be brutal. And usually with those, especially maybe not the people upstairs, but the one, Xana and Ethan downstairs, that's where there would have been movement and a hurry up and like that. To me, I especially in the living room, if the living room, Xana's room, I expected there to be more splatter. So just little shocking things, especially that table though. That table really, besides the pictures of the eye and all that, the table to me was like, all right, you already say you didn't hear it already, which is a joke. But then there's this quick getaway, chase after movement, in that it's already a small area going through that doorway. From the stairs to the doorway around the corner, it's already a small area. And then you add that big ass table going long ways towards the doorway. I'm like, how in the hell was there not only a lot of screams, a lot of thumping when we're going to look through these autopsy docs and see some of the injuries? That makes a lot of noise too, okay? Yeah. That makes a lot of noise too. And then the table on top of that, it's like, how? Yeah. How did nobody recognize that their friends were being brutally attacked? So
it's not possible. I just don't see a way in which it's possible that they didn't hear. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like last night when Jennifer and I were doing the show on the Steve Sharilla newest interview with Cuomo, and I could not wait until you cover it, Rosee. I could not wait. Don't watch our show, okay? Don't watch it.
I've been told.
Don't watch our show.
I've been informed.
People in chat watch our show, okay? People in chat watch our show. Rosee, don't watch our show.
Okay.
And people in chat watch Rosee's show that she's gonna cover the Steve Sharilla interview on Cuomo. Trust me, okay? Watch both of ours. Don't let Rosee watch ours. Because you definitely have to be, it's spontaneous. You got to watch it spontaneously, okay? No. Yeah, just don't give Rosee any spoilers, and if you do in chat, I'm gonna remove the comment. Just saying. Okay.
Serious.
I'm giving you a heads up.
I had a family member come up to me and say, I watched the show last night, but I can't tell you anything. I was like, okay. What's going on?
Right, Jennifer? We have to wait. We have to wait for Rosee.
Oh my
Spontaneous, no teasers. It's one of those, we can't even tell you the plot, okay? I just told her, this is what I told her last night. I said, Rosee, it's like a burger that has everything on it, and it's got shit you never thought went on a burger. And it's just stuff you're going to take off and go, that's interesting. That would be on a burger, but no, thank you. And you're going to put it on the side of your plate. It's that there's that much in it. So
You really said
yes.
that.
Yes, I
Yes,
said
he
it
did.
last night. I said it last night. I was like, damn, this is like a burger with everything on it, even shit you didn't even think was on a burger. It was. Yep,
Okay.
we ain't eating that with our burger. I never thought, who in the hell puts that on a burger? But you know what? It's there. It's there.
Okay, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. So yes, yeah, I can't wait. I might not be able to watch it, but I'll definitely be listening because I have to hear your reaction and what you have to say through the whole thing. I mean, and it's just not the beginning; it's the whole thing. Which he was. I expected more blood in the upper room, but I know that we did not get all of the photos. Yeah. They removed 2,500 plus photos from over 7,000 photos. We will never see those 2,500 photos because court ruling. You know, and that really sucks too. I mean, listen, I don't need to see Kaylee and Maddie and Ethan and Xana in their final resting state. I don't need to, you know, but just blur their bodies. I think everything else needs to be, especially if you don't have a trial.
Yeah.
The public, this is for our safety. This is for us to help warn our loved ones. This is for us to help look out for these people, right? This is learning moments for us as a public, as a society, and this should have been in trial. We should have been able to see it. Let us help us protect ourselves from these sick individuals that commit these crimes. And the only way that we can do it as well, because that's what the police do, right? They study these crimes so then they can learn to help prevent them. Help us prevent shit for ourselves too by allowing these to be teaching moments to society and the public. So hopefully one day they do. They probably won't because it's bumfuck Idaho and they do things how they want to do things. And if you have a different license plate, change it right away. Realtors tell you that. Yeah, if you're moving to Idaho and you're from out of state, it doesn't matter if you got to wait, you know, if you got 6 months on that plate, it doesn't matter. Change it right away. Change it right away. And that's from a realtor. You know, that's from a damn realtor trying to sell houses. And they're like, hey, one of the 5 must-dos if you're moving to Idaho. Okay. Everyone heard everything. No way did the chasing downstairs happen. And Dylan said the pong table. I mean, come. It's like the killer that went and got a bucket from under their sink and used their water to clean up the blood. You know, like, so he's going to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put this table here.
Yeah, it looks better there.
So. Yeah, because that's going to throw the cops off, right?
Yeah.
No. And if they moved it, well, then what'd you move it for? Because remember in that body cam, there was the knife. There was a knife that was sitting on the table. Hunter picked it up and had it in his hand. So if the table was moved from the kitchen to the living room, well, then why in the hell was it moved, number one? And number two, why was there a knife on it? For what?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's bad enough that there was a knife on it, and then it's some like an object that isn't like fully clear on where it was, and that just makes it worse.
I'm just imagining. I mean, listen, I played beer pong before. That's a good spot for a beer pong table. The kitchen was not. There's not enough room in that kitchen. When you're adding people, that was the perfect spot for a beer pong table because you got people that could walk around and still move through the kitchen, through the living room, through the hallway to Xana's room, yada, yada. you have a bigger crowd of people that gets to hang out on the couch in the living room and still see everything that's going on at the ping pong or at the pong table. And the people that are playing are the only ones that have to stand there and toss the ball. So that still creates movement in the whole house. A large crowd can be in one section, still view what's going on because that's what you have to do when you play it. To me, that was the perfect spot for the beer pong table. We saw that it was set up for beer pong. The knife was probably for lemons or something. There might have been hard liquor pong. The knife for lemons or something. But there would it just wouldn't be in the kitchen. There is not enough room. You put that table in the kitchen, you can barely even walk by the fridge and the sink and the cupboards that are inside that kitchen. And then it's almost like the doorway's kind of blocked too, because there's only one way you could have that table. Basically going from the sliding glass door to the doorway that brings you to that little square section of Dylan's door, the stairs going upstairs and the doorway going into the living room. So it doesn't make sense that it would even be there if it was being used like that. So, but who knows? There's so many damn questions when it comes to this. The table is partially obstructed, both of them. No, Xana's room. Yeah, but that's the best place you could have it. If you're playing beer pong. More room in that area for yeah, what's up, Criminal Med? Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, the house is so scrunched. Even the stairs, the stairs are so skinny going up and around. When we had that 1122 house tour that we used to use in the very beginning before that was gone. Very thin hallway, going up, or stairways going up the stairs. Now the bottom floor, was more spread out. But yeah, when it came to the second floor, the third floor, I mean, hell, even Maddie's room, I don't know how she had all that shit in there in that little room.
Yeah.
That thing was so little,
Yeah, like you would open doors into things.
Yeah, everything was so scrunched on the second and third floor. So yeah, there's just wasn't very much room there at all. But all right, so we're gonna get to these documents, and since when it comes to you, Rosee, I want to highlight your studies, the Bachelor's of Forensic Science and Technology. I want to highlight that, and so I want to let you pick the order. I'll go ahead and screen share it so everybody can see it. But is there like a order that you want to go through? Do you want to Kaylee's, Madison, Xana, Ethan? What are you feeling? You just direct. I will make it happen.
All right, I think Madison first, because that is the order that they claim.
Sarah says, have you read the exhibit docs regarding bushy eyebrows? There is some grand jury transcripts. Yeah, I did hear about the grand jury transcripts coming out. Do me a favor. Send me the links on Twitter to the links that you have on your Twitter, and then I'll repost them for people, and then I will go through those, because I kind of want to go through those and some other documents coming up later on this week. I do plan on doing a couple Idaho shows this week, so I do plan on, and I would like to go through some of those. Maybe on Friday we can go through the transcripts and stuff. That might be cool. Yeah, shout out to Sarah D. Irish over there on Twitter too. Always dropping the latest documents up to the second. Which he was doing the story. It's so cramped and close. Yeah, it's all cramped. The bushy eyebrows. All right, so which one do you want to go through first, Rosee?
Madison.
You want to go through Madison?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me see. I forgot. how to change the screen on this. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. I apologize. All right. So let me pull these up. Let's go with these. All right. Okay, that sucks. Hold on a minute. Why? How do I get rid of this, Rosee? Oh, never mind. I just did it.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, CJ. All right, here we go. Maybe that's better. I don't know. What's better? Probably this. All right. We'll zoom in a little bit more, a little bit less. All right, so this is Madison's. And well, do you want to screen share it? And then you can scroll, or do you want me to just scroll for you?
I think that's gonna upset my StreamYard.
Damn StreamYard.
My StreamYard is very particular about what I'm allowed to do.
Oh, let me do this. Let me get rid of the chat box on here, and then that way it can show more of whatever is off over here. Okay. All right, so let's see here. I'll just scroll, or you just tell me what page or where to go.
Okay. Well, I think we can probably go straight to background information, which is the next page.
All right. Summary case findings.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
from there. All right. So, the summary, the multiple sharp force injuries and toxicology, I think they're attached, but I'll go through the opinion. Okay. Investigative reports indicate that this 21-year-old female, Madison Mogan, was found deceased at her shared home. 3 other occupants of the home were also found deceased. Post-mortem examination showed a well-developed adult female with stab and incised wound of the scalp, face, and neck, total of 13, stab wounds of the chest, 5, and incised wounds of the upper extremities, 10. Associated injuries include wounds of the lung and liver, as well as perforations of the subclavian vein, subclavian artery, and blood vessels of the chest wall. There was no evidence of natural disease that would have caused or contributed to death. Postmortem toxicology testing showed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.282 grams per 100 milliliter. And the cause of death is multiple sharp injuries.
Damn. Hit a lot of veins, arteries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and from what I did skim, it's kind of evident because there was quite a bit of bleeding into the muscle around that. So they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the blood vessels of the chest wall, subclavian vein, and subclavian artery. My lord.
Yeah.
That's painful. Because when that happens, it's not instant. It's even though it's quick, it's not instant. And that's when your body wakes up from shock. And oh my, what a horrible way to pass.
Yeah.
See, we thought Maddie sleeping, quick, and no, wasn't necessarily that. It was a little more brutal than that.
Yeah. I was a little surprised by some of the injuries that I saw when I went through those. Just because, I know that we knew the amount, but it was still quite extensive with Maddie, and we hadn't really gotten that impression exactly. So.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm just trying to make a little banner here. Okay. But
Alright.
where it doesn't, damn, it just keeps. Why is it so huge? All right, maybe this. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I just don't want it to cover up some of the text. All right, there we go. Next page, background.
Okay, so
Did you want
background.
to? Okay.
Yeah, I'll just go through it. Okay, so briefly, this 21-year-old female was found deceased at her shared home. 3 other occupants of the home were also found deceased. The Ladau County Coroner's Office requested an autopsy to further investigate the death. Initial observations: the body is found supine in a body bag sealed by tag number. And that's the number, the name Madison Morgan, and the tag number are written on a piece of blue tape affixed to the outside of the body bag. A piece of green tape bears the medico-legal case number and a notation indicating the body had been x-rayed. 2 identification bags encircled on the right ankle, one bearing the decedent's name, dates of birth and death, and tag number, and the other bearing the decedent's first name. So, yeah, it's everything that we did know. External evidence of medical intervention, none. I mean, they wouldn't have been.
Right.
They were
Because there wasn't a 911 call for 8 freaking hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Clothing and personal effects. The body is received clad in a pink one-shoulder camisole and a pair of black athletic-style pants. The tank top is blood-stained and the pants are wet in areas. A brown paper bag is secured over each hand by means of silver duct tape. Jewelry includes a white metal ring with a blue stone on the right third finger, what appears to be a black hair tie encircling the right wrist, interlocking white metal rings
You're fine.
on the left thumb, and a white metal ring on the left index finger. External examination. The body is that of a well-developed, well-nourished adult, light-complected female who weighs 132 pounds as received, measures approximately 6 to 8 inches in length, and appears compatible with the reported age. The body has been refrigerated and is cool to the touch. Rigor mortis is receding in the muscles of the jaw and the extremities. Fixed dark pink liver mortis is present over the posterior surfaces of the body, except in areas exposed to pressure. When first viewed, blood is dried within the hair and the rivulets and smears over the face, chest, and upper extremities. So that's all normal. That's all what you would expect.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. Head and neck. The scalp hair is blonde and brown, straight, and measures up to approximately 15 inches in length. Over the crown, extensions had been applied to the hair and upper eyelashes. The irides appear hazel. I can never say that. The corneas are clouded, the sclera are white, and the conjunctivae are clouded. No petechial hemorrhages are identified on the sclera, conjunctivae, facial skin, or oral mucosa. The nose and ears are normally formed. The anterior teeth are natural and in good condition. And that's something that's really difficult because when it comes to those petechial hemorrhages and stuff like that, it's really contrasted when you get to Kaylee's report.
Can you speak English?
Okay, so
Sorry.
So you know, in the reports when it comes to Kaylee, where they say that there was evidence of her being like suffocated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was no evidence of that in this autopsy for Maddie. So there's nothing
okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right.
No, you're good. I was just like, I have no idea what she just said to me, so I wanted to make sure.
Okay.
There's probably other people out there that are feeling me. Okay, you're welcome. All right, go ahead. Go.
Okay.
Go
All right. The neck is symmetrical without masses, and the trachea is midline. So they're saying that everything's normal.
Thank you, Witchy was. Thank you, Witchy was, and thank you, Rosee, for the English there as well.
You're welcome. All right, thorax and abdomen. The thorax is well developed and symmetrical. The abdomen is flat. The surface of the back is free of lesions. Lumbar lordosis is prominent. I think that just means, like, I don't think it's anything to do with the injuries. I think that it's like some people have like a curvature of the lower spine. It's just
Okay.
yeah. The breasts are symmetrical without palpable masses. The external genitalia are those of a normal adult female. Extremities. The upper and lower extremities are well developed and symmetrical without absence of digits. The fingernails and toenails are short with smooth edges and patchy pink nail polish on all of the nails. Okay. Identifying marks include a small tattoo of wings on the posterior left upper arm. Posterior just means at the back of her. So
Oh,
not the
okay.
front, but the back. Yeah. Okay. Evidence of injury. So this is where it's going to get very difficult
Okay.
to read.
Okay.
And then also what they're saying is that the sequence that they're giving for the wounds is not how they think the wounds happened. It's how they're going through the order that they're going through it. So don't take this, like they're numbered, don't take that as the sequence of injury. It's just the sequence of them examining it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Alright.
I appreciate that.
All right. Stab and incised wounds of head and neck. So there's 13 of those. The first one is it entered on the right parietal scalp above and in front of the right ear. It is approximately okay, I don't know your guys' metrics. So now you can tell me.
1 and 3/16 inch. I'll just
1
hop
in-
in for measurements, okay? That'll be my
Do that.
contribution today.
Do that, okay. A linear stab wound orientated from 7 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The 7 o'clock edge is squared and the 2 o'clock edge is sharp. Dark red abrasions are present at the wound's edges, extending up to
1/8 of an inch.
an eighth of an inch from the anterior and posterior wound edges. Okay, so what that means is they're giving the direction of the stab. They're saying that it's a linear wound, so that means it is like it's a straight line. It's something that went
What's up,
in and
Busby?
out. The fact that one edge is squared and the other is sharp means that it is likely. I'm not going to say it means that, but it's likely that it's a blade with one sharp edge. So it's not like a double, not like a
Right.
sword or something. It's like a knife, like a kitchen knife.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because the side that's squared is the back of it, and the side that's sharp is the edge. The edge
Okay.
weapon.
Okay.
What did I miss? Oh,
Pass.
it's extending up from the anterior and posterior. Yeah, so they're just describing the shape of it, and for the most part, I think what they're trying to get at there is the type of weapon. The associated subscapular and temporalis muscle hemorrhage just means that there was bleeding into the muscles which resulted from that injury. And okay, we can move on to the second one now. Sorry, I know this is horrible.
What?
On the left parietal scalp above the left ear is an approximately
1/2 inch to 1/16 of an inch.
linear. No, please. Linear stab wound with irregular edges, orientated from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Both ends are sharp, irregular, and up to an eighth of an inch.
Right,
Red
yeah,
marginal
sorry.
abrasions is present. Widest superiorly. Okay.
Both
so
ends are sharp?
That's exactly it. Yeah. So we look at the one before, and we've got a sharp edge, and we've got a
Yeah, with a
Yeah.
square edge, and then we have a
Yeah.
sharp edge with both ends are sharp. So
so this is like a different shape. It's like
What?
where, yeah, there's things that could cause
So-
this. It's not
okay.
like it's very likely. A lot of times they'll say that this is about the weapon, but it does look. I mean, I'm no expert, but it does look to me like it's a different one. it's a different weapon.
That's what I was gonna ask. Does that mean it's a different weapon then? Since
I
and
mean,
that's where they got the two weapons from.
yeah. So it's different. I think that there's a couple of reasons, and there could be things that factor in, like movement, angle, all kinds of stuff like that. But from just the basic understanding that I have, it's a different shape. So both ends are sharp. I'm not sure why that would be, other
I
than
mean, it's on the scalp above the left ear.
Mhm.
Stab wound, linear, just like the other one, but this one, both ends are sharp. The other one end is square, the other is sharp.
Yeah.
So it's not like they like got the exact same spot, you know, went here, flipped it around, and went there again.
Yeah, it's different.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's up, Glenn? We've been live a lot the last couple days, and we will be here coming up. That we got a Bubba interview with the crash case, and then some Idaho 4 stuff. All right, so the path along the skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the associated subscapular and temporalis muscle hemorrhage is the same thing. It's the bleeding into the muscle, which is associated with that injury.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And then when they give the depth and direction, they're kind of just explaining what they've already explained.
Okay.
So the third one is entrance is on the right forehead at the hairline. It is approximately, Hugo.
Oh, 3/4 inch. Sorry.
It's a linear incised wound with undermining, extending inferiority. So the difference here is an incision is wider than it is deep, but a stab is deeper than it is wide. So an incision is longer, but it's along the surface. Yeah. And then undermining kind of
extending inferiorly.
So extending inferiorly means that it's moving downward. The undermining part just relates to, I don't even know how, like you have the trigger warning up. So it relates to how the tissue separates from the bone that it's supposed to be attached to, from what I understand.
Busby says, do they mean the beginning and the end of the wound is sharp, like no tearing of the skin?
Yeah, so not only that there's no tearing, but that there's no square edge. So it's like I think of it as like a double-edged weapon. So if you think of like a sword or something, that's different to a knife.
Right.
So yeah.
Like a machete. Huh. Interesting.
Thank you, Busby. 19.5 millimeters. Yeah.
You need to get up here, bro. You need to be calling out these measures. 1/4 inch. All right. When you getting back up here on panel, bro?
Rosee,
it's nice out. It's nice out now. All right. So let me see. Entrance. Do I go to the next page then?
Okay, so this is wound 4 to 6, which it's the upper right cheek. Okay, so I think that it's going like it's a wound that's moving from the side of the face to the nose. And nares is a nostril.
You know, just thinking about these as we're reading them and we're like watching the maybe not necessarily the exact order of the injuries, but we're watching the freaking murder
Mm-hmm.
up here as we're reading. Like I'm picturing the back of the head to the nose, like just different. It's just these poor
Yeah,
kid, the poor
I
poor
know.
kids, poor kids.
Yeah, yeah. The undermining is the same thing that I explained before. It extends superiorly, so it goes upward, towards the lower eyelid. The path. So the subcutaneous tissue is the lowest. It's the deepest layer of skin.
Okay,
So,
okay. Subcutaneous. I didn't know that. I know it today. Damn. All right. Subcutaneous is the lowest
yes.
tissue. Okay.
Yes. And then at the medial end of the wound track enters the navel cavity. So medial just means that it's closer to the middle of the person, not that way. It's that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Associated findings with those. Blood is present in the right nostril, purple ecchymosis. I can't say it. I know it means bruising. Is present at the superior margin of the wound.
Hey, I couldn't say quis. Oh my God.
What?
Last night I couldn't say the Chris Cuomo project without. Okay, so you're good. See, I tried to say it right there and I messed it up. All right.
Well, I don't know inches and
It's just
the whole system that you guys have.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. Hey, you guys say it, all right? You guys say it. Sorry. I wanted to make you feel better because I'm like, hey,
I do feel better.
It could have been last night on the show where I kept trying to say the Chris Cuomo project. So you're good. You're good.
Now I'm gonna have to try and say it again. No, I'm just gonna go from is present at the superior margin of the wound at approximately I'm fine, half by an 1/8 inch. Pale tan abrasion is associated with the lateral end of the wound complex. The skin inferior to the wound shows an 1/8 inch diameter circular tan abrasion. The nasal septum is incised.
What's that mean? Pushed in?
No, there's a slice in it, or it's cut.
Yeah, because the injury from back to the nose, and the nose is where it probably stopped, huh? Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, I was just thinking, man, poor families, and if they saw their family member, oh my Lord. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It is. It's difficult. All right, number 7, on the lower right cheek, overlying the mandible, is approximately 1 by up to an 1/8 inch linear stab wound, orientated from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The 10 o'clock end is squared, and the 4 o'clock end is sharp. Irregular abrasion is present at the margins of this wound, extending up to 3/8
of an inch. Yes.
Yeah, okay. From the 10 o'clock end of the wound, pink bruising is present at the wound edges. Okay, and then the associated findings is that the oral mucosa and the tongue are perforated. There is a moderate amount of hemorrhagic fluid within the oral cavity, and that is important because it means that there is a fluid in the mouth that contains blood. So I know that that's come up a lot because there's been questions about, like diluted blood, and there's been that whole argument, Sutton versus Tovey about that, and I think that some of them have pointed to this as a source of diluted blood, I think. But I don't think that it would have been enough. All right. On the right side of the chin is approximately 3/4 by 1/16 inch linear incised wound with undermining extending inferiorly and medially. So, yeah. On the right side of the chin is approximately 3/4 by 1/16 inch linear incised wound with undermining. Oh, is this the same thing or no? Extending inferiorly and medially. We can go to the next one. The upper left cheek is approximately 1/2 by 1/16 inch curvy linear incised wound with undermining extending medially. So curvy linear, I think it's like an arc shaped wound or incision. Yeah. Okay. And we can move on to the next one. Okay. On the left mid cheek is approximately 1 by 1/8 inch linear stab wound orientated from 11 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And now it says both ends are sharp. So that's again it's a different shape. And then purple bruising is present at the 7 o'clock end. And then I'm gonna skip just the stuff in between because I think it's a bit technical. It's like it's kind of explaining what the first one is saying when they go through the entrance. Is that good? Is that okay? Oh wait, you're muted. That's why.
Oh, what the hell? Sorry. 12. I didn't want to interrupt when you were talking or whatever. 12 to 13. Is that
okay? Okay, so because you weren't talking, I thought I should just keep moving on to the next thing. But you were.
Oh
talking.
no, I'm sorry. I was like, oh yeah, like okay, here the next one. The next one is that where you? So
I didn't
okay,
hear any of
12
that.
to. Sorry, my bad. 12 to 13. Is that where
Yes.
you want? Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
so on the anterior neck are 2 parallel linear incised wounds with somewhat irregular edges, measuring approximately 5 inches in length and up to 1 to 1/8 inch in width. So I think the irregular edges, I stand corrected, but I think that is indicative of movement. So that one is also kind of different.
I'm sure she woke up, you know.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So, stab wounds of the torso, and there's 5 of them. Number 1, the entrance on the lateral left upper chest, just below the left clavicle, is a gaping, approximately
3/4.
3/4 by 3/16 inch linear stab wound orientated from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The 10 o'clock end is sharp and the 4 o'clock end is squared. That one is also different. I think that's a lot of what Mabbott was talking about in that early press conference when she was talking about the different wounds. I think that's what she was referring to.
Okay.
Second, on the medial upper left chest, just left of the midline, is an approximately 1 to 1/4 by 3/16 inch linear stab wound orientated from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The 9 o'clock end is sharp and the 3 o'clock end is squared. Purple bruising surrounds the wound. Rectangular pink-red abrasions extend superiorly from the superior wound margin. Fine striations are visible within this abrasion. So Um, I think I don't know if that has something to do with like some other object that they're saying was involved as well. Just because it has a shape, it's rectangular. Yeah. Okay. 3 to 4. On the upper left breast are 2 gaping linear stab wounds measuring approximately 1 to half by half inches inferior and 2 by 7/8 of an inch superior. The inferior wound is orientated from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and the superior wound is orientated from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock ends are sharp, and the 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock ends are squared.
What? That's weird. On the chest?
Yeah.
Huh. So both. So it has both squared ends and both sharp ends, like both different ends are at the same spot.
It's very weird. I didn't fully understand how they worded it, but yeah, it's both.
So it's like the two weapons didn't just happen on Kaylee like we've all thought. It happened to Maddie too.
Possibly. I mean, if I'm understanding
that's my
correctly,
opinion when I'm looking at it. And
yeah.
huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, number 5.
On the lower right chest is an approximately 2 by 5/16 inch linear stab wound orientated from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. The 2 o'clock end is squared and the 8 o'clock end is sharp. There is focal dark purple ecchymosis at the 2 o'clock end of the wound.
Huh. Let me see here. Oh, sorry. Did I go too far?
I was just gonna say with this, I think that this was some of what we were talking about in the beginning when we were talking about how sometimes the bleeding can be internal. They're kind of describing that here. So from those wounds, there was internal bleeding. Okay. Incised wounds of the upper extremities. So I think, as I said before, an incision is longer than it is deep. So you'll see I do this a lot because it just helps me remember. Number 1, the entrance on the lateral deltoid region of the left arm is an angled 2 to 3/4 by ½ inch incised wounds with undermining extending posteriorly. So that means that it's going backwards. It's going that way. Yeah. Wound number 2 on the anterior deltoid region of the left arm is a gaping angled incised wound measuring approximately 4 by 1 to ½ inch, I think. Yeah, in greatest dimension, with the undermining extending posteriorly and a superficial ½ inch incised tail extending laterally from the lateral wound edge. So that just means that I think there's a more shallow part that's tailing off the wound laterally, so outward. Okay, number 3. On the dorsal left forearm is a linear ½ by ½ inch incised wound with irregular edges. Purple contusions at the margins and a 1/8 inch superficial incised tail extending medially. Number 4. On the ventral left forearm is an angled 2 by up to ½ inch incised wound with an 1/8 inch superficial incised tail extending medially. On the dorsal left hand, at the base of the middle finger, is a 1/2 by an 1/8 inch incised wound with irregular edges and red marginal abrasion extending up to 1/16 inch from the wound edges at the inferior aspect. So I didn't know any of this about wounds to the hand, but yeah. Okay, 6 to 10. On the palmar aspect of the left hand at the base of the left thumb is a 2 by 3/16 inch linear incised wound. And then the shirt worn by the decedent shows defects corresponding with the stab wounds of the torso. So it's just obviously saying that that is what she was wearing. Then it says, based on characteristics of the least distorted wound, the findings are consistent with a blade approximately 1 to 3/16. Okay, 1
1 to 3/16 to 1 to 1/4 inch in width and approximately 5/32 to 3/16 in thickness.
Okay. The internal examinations, I can tell you that I have read, and we can go through them, but they're basically that everything was normal aside from the injuries, like the consequence of the injuries. But they are saying that there was nothing there was nothing natural that could have caused their passing.
Okay. And then I'm scrolling so the words are on the screen, and anybody that does want to read it can pause it as they go through it. All right.
I'm curious your opinion, Rosee, about the facial wounds and taking into consideration the size of a K-bar knife. Do you feel that they had pretty good control of that weapon?
Like good control, as in like a good grip over the weapon.
Yeah.
Well, as you guys can tell, I'm not very familiar with like inches and stuff like that, but I do think that they did from this autopsy. I do think so.
That's a pretty big knife, and I just was shocked about the size of the facial wounds being so small. Like they were very controlled.
Yeah, and I think
movements.
That's interesting. That's an interesting point, Jennifer.
Yeah, and they are more so with this report. I think that when we find, when we move on to Kaylee's autopsy, it's very different. Like, it's a very different report. Not only because it's longer, but just because it feels like the whole nature of the attack was much more
focused on Kaylee, right?
Yeah.
She's been the target to me since the very beginning. Is there anything that needs mentioned about like any of these other, or should I just scroll through so everybody can see what's on the screen and pause it if they need to? Is there anything else that needs covered on Madison's?
Yeah, we do know about the toxicology. Madison's was the highest content, and they can see the actual measurements there. But that's another thing, is I think there's been a bit of a debate about how awake she was in particular, because I mean we've heard the defense and the state kind of mention that, but I don't know. I do get the impression from just reading that there was some kind of movement. So
yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't just laying there and things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to get to Kaylee's? All right. Let me see here. We'll go ahead and switch to this one. All right. We have Kaylee Consalvis autopsy report on here. You said it was longer. Uh, so a lot more wounds is obviously going to make it longer, but do you think it's more descriptive, like with, because I don't skim over certain things like these documents for a reason. I like to save it spontaneous for when we're doing the live, because that gives me the best questions and I'm the most focused when it comes to certain things like this. So as we went through Madison's, I kind of saw, like, before it was like I thought it went like this for the last few years, and as we read the autopsy documents, it's almost like I saw the crime against her as best as I could in a completely different way, and maybe and that was the way it happened. Is this something that we might feel as we get into Kaylee's, because it's a longer, more injury, more descriptive? You just said it yourself. You were like, after reading this autopsy report, it made me really think like this is who the target was. It's that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I think when it comes to reading the autopsy reports, um, in a lot of ways, it's stuff that we did know. Like, it's stuff that we had seen in plain English and court documents and stuff. But it, there's something about the actual detail of it that feels a lot worse. So you feel like you can almost
really,
visualize it more, which is it's
Mhm.
really upsetting.
yeah.
It is really upsetting because it's just that
Especially
level of
like
detail.
the back of the head to the nose, and then the cut on
Mhm.
the nose, and then you're
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
with me, I thought she was pretty much passed out until she went out, and with that, I was like, "Whoa, no!" There
Yeah.
there was movement.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So that one took about an hour. I think we only have about two, so we might have to do Xana and Ethan on another show or something. Is that
Yeah.
what you're thinking? Okay.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
that.
Because because I think I thought they were about a half hour for
I
each
thought
one, but
so.
it's
I thought
ended
it
up
would
being
be.
an hour. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, like you got to go through it. I just
Yeah.
didn't realize there was that much to them. All right, so we're gonna switch to Kaylee's here, and definitely go sub up to Rosee and Jennifer G. And thank you all for being here. And trigger warning: please hit the like if you haven't, subscribe if you're not, share it out to your socials and friends. Help us get into the algorithm. Come on back for any in the future, and check out our show from last night too. That thing was a doozy. Steve Sharilla, his latest interview, man. That shit was wild. I can't wait, Rosee. All right, we're on Kaylee's autopsy report here. Where should I go first?
Keep going. Okay, yeah, we can go from
Summary?
the summary. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so multiple sharp force injuries, blunt force injuries of head, asphyxial injuries, and then toxicology. So already you can see there is quite a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Do you want the opinion?
Yes.
Just tell me where to go, and I'll put it there.
All right. Investigative reports indicate that this 21-year-old female, Kaylee Consalves, was found deceased at her shared home. 3 other occupants of the home were also found deceased. post-mortem examination showed a well-developed adult female with stab and incised wounds of scalp, face, and neck, upwards of 24. Stab and incised wounds of the chest, 11, and stab and incised wounds of the upper extremities, 3. Associated injuries included punctures of the outer table of the skull, injuries to the teeth and tongue, perforations of the subclavian artery and vein, and hemorrhage into the chest cavities. Blunt force injuries included scalp lacerations, bleeding around the brain, and nasal fracture, as well as scrapes on the nose and cheeks, bruising around the eyes, and pattern bruises extending across the lower face. Petechial hemorrhages were present in the eyes and mouth. There was no evidence of natural disease that would have caused or contributed to death. And toxicology showed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.107 grams per 100 milliliters. The cause of death is multiple sharp force injuries, blunt force injuries of the head, and asphyxial injuries were listed as significant contributors to death. So they haven't given one specific. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that is, I think that's something that Turvey, I don't know if it was Turvey or Whitcomb, one of them did note that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, background information. Briefly, this 21-year-old female was found deceased at her shared home. 3 other occupants of the home were also found deceased. The Ladau County Coroner's Office requested an autopsy to further investigate the death. Initial observations. The body is found supine in a body bag sealed by tag number and the name Kaylee Consalves. On the tag number are written on a piece of blue tape affixed to the outside of the body bag. A piece of green tape bears the medico-legal case number and a notation indicating the body has been x-rayed. An identification band bearing the decedent's name, dates of birth and death, and tag number encircles the right angle. And no medical intervention. Clothing and personal effects. The body is received clad in a black short-sleeve graphic t-shirt, a pair of gray and black plaid fleece pajamas.
Clad in black. Again, it comes back.
Yeah. Yeah. And a gray footy style sock, which is partially on the left foot and over the forefoot and toes only. The t-shirt is blood-stained. A brown paper bag is secured over each hand by means of silver duct tape. Jewelry includes a white metal daith. I don't know what that is. Daith piercing in the left ear. Okay. External examination. The body is that of a well-developed, well-nourished, adult, light-complected female who weighs 168 pounds as received, measures approximately 64 inches in length, and appears compatible with the reported age. The body has been refrigerated and is cool to the touch. Rigor mortis is receding in the muscles of the jaw and extremities. Fixed dark pink liver mortis is present over the posterior surfaces of the body, except areas exposed to pressure. Blood is congealed on the face and in the right ear and matted within the hair. Dried rivulets and smears of blood are present on the chest and left hand.
Stone says like middle of ear part, so it's a piercing that goes like. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I have those. Okay.
Are those seem painful to me? Does that hurt?
They are. Yeah. Yes.
They are pretty though.
They hurt. I didn't know what it was called. I went to the place and I was like, I want that, and that's what they did.
There you go. That.
Yeah.
Well, now you know what it's called.
I'm gonna forget, but yeah.
I don't think so. It's a weird name for. All right. So.
All right. Yeah.
Head and neck.
Yes. The scalp hair is brown and blonde, straight, and measures up to approximately 24 inches in length over the crown. Extensions have been applied to the hair and upper eyelashes. The irides appear brown, the corneas are clouded, the sclera are white, and the conjunctivae are clouded. The nose and ears are normally formed. White foam is present within the mouth and dried around the lips and over the right cheek. The anterior teeth are natural and in good condition, except for injuries to be described below. There appears to have been a fixed retainer in the mouth, now resting on the tongue due to traumatic disruption of the teeth.
Oh, that's a hard paragraph to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and also I didn't know about the retainer, but I knew that there has been like a lot of debate about like
Oh.
was she ready for bed or what were they like downstairs or stuff like that. But I do think putting your retainer is kind of indicative of going to bed.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
that was new. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. The neck is symmetrical without masses. The trachea is midline. So again, they're saying that things are normal. The thorax is well developed and symmetrical. The abdomen is mildly protuberant, and I don't know what that word means. The surface of the back shows focal injury to be described below and is otherwise free of lesions. The breasts are symmetrical without pulpal masses. The external genitalia are those of a normal adult female. Oh, it's permanently. Oh, thank you. Okay. I didn't even know you got those. Thank you.
So are they saying that retainer got knocked out of place and was just sitting on her tongue?
Because her facial injuries, pushed it back into her throat. So while all that shit was happening, it's no wonder she probably couldn't talk or scream because she had that damn retainer in her mouth while she was getting, and where it was just being blocked from going down her throat, like it was in between the injury and the throat. Just, oh my God, you couldn't even talk. Your whole vocal path is obstructed. Oh God.
Yeah.
God.
The retainer
It's horrible to think.
It's not small either. And it's metal. I just I don't want to think about that.
Yeah. And then it would be like a car accident. Like your mouth is the car and the weapon was the damn wall, and the injuries are the metal crushed up, pushing everything back up. Oof.
Yeah. And I didn't know that you got like a permanent, like one that's affixed.
Plus this too. Also the pressure against her face and mouth.
Yeah.
While that stuff was going, my God.
Yeah.
If anybody, like, I'm sorry, to me she was always the target, and I don't know how in the hell you can't sit there and think that she wasn't with all of this,
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
All right,
extremities or okay.
Yeah. The upper and lower extremities are well developed and symmetrical without absence of digits. The skin shows patchy tan orange coloration, more prominent over the lower extremities. The fingernails are short and neatly trimmed with irregular small patches of clear white nail polish on some of the nails. The toenails range from short to medium length. The great and second toenails on both feet show polish in a French pattern. Okay. Identifying marks and scars. Identifying marks and scars include a tattoo reading "Wish You Were Here" over the anterior left biceps, as well as numerous parallel linear scars over the left forearm. All right. Evidence of injury. So this is like it's devastating. Stab and incised wounds of the head and neck, and that's more than 24. So number 1, entrance on the right frontal scalp, extending posteriorly and medially across the midline from the hairline, is a gaping approximately 2.5 by 3/4 inch linear incised wound with undermining extending posteriorly and laterally. The anterior lateral end is branched and shows irregular red abrasion at the margins, as well as parallel linear red abrasions extending inferiorly from this end of the wound.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, so I think with the information that they're giving about the wounds, it is pretty different. I think that when compared to the others, I think that it does. I think it goes deeper. I'm not sure, but I think it does.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, number 2. On the right superior parietal scalp is an approximately 1/2 by 1/16 inch linear incised wound with discontinuous 1/6 inch red marginal abrasions and undermining extending laterally. Okay, and then the associated findings with that are also bleeding, which one would expect. Okay, number 3. On the left frontoparietal scalp is an approximately 1 to 3/4 by up to 1/16 inch J-shaped incised wound with 1/16 to 1/4 inch red marginal abrasion and slightly undermining extending medially. So I don't know what they mean. It's an incision. It's J-shaped. I don't. I guess that could. Yeah, I guess it can be from movement as well. Like it just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 4. On the left temporoparietal scalp is an approximately 2 to 1/2 by up to 3/8 of an inch linear incised wound. Okay. We can go to number 5. On the left superior parietal scalp is an approximately 1/2 by 1/16 inch linear incised wound, and these are, I mean, I'm sure you guys know these are like on the head. Okay, entrance on the left superior occipital scalp is an approximately 3/4 by 1/32 inch linear incised wound with undermining extending medially. Faint purple bruising surrounds this wound. Okay, number 7. On the medial left forehead is approximately 1 to 1/4 by up to 3/8 of an inch curvy linear, so that's also like that arc shape, incised wound with undermining extending medially. And I think I did say medially is towards the midline of the body. Irregular tan abrasion is present at the margins of this wound, more prominent superiorly, and the medial wound edge shows dark brown discoloration. And that's resulting, as one would expect, in a bleeding. Okay, we can go to the next. Okay, 8 to 9. Within The left eyebrow is a wound complex consisting of two perpendicularly intersecting incised wounds, each measuring 9/16 by up to 3/8 of an inch. Two parallel linear quarter-inch tan abrasions extend superiorly from the superior edge of the wound complex. So that it's the same, they're parallel and they're going upward. Okay, number 10. On the central forehead is an approximately 2 by up to quarter-inch curvy linear incised wound with undermining extending leftward. Discontinuous dark red marginal abrasion is present, most prominently at the right lateral and inferior margins. So, and I'm sure you guys know abrasion is scraping. All right, 11 and 12. On the right medial forehead is approximately 1 by quarter-inch wound complex consisting of at least two intersecting incised wounds with 1/16 to 1/8 inch dark red marginal abrasion. "13. On the right forehead, partially following the contour of the right eyebrow, is an approximately 3 to 1/4 by up to 1/2 inch curvy linear incised wound with scalloped edges and undermining extending inferiorly. The skin at the inframedial wound edge shows dark brown discoloration." So, I just need to find out more about scalloped edges. I'm not sure what that is, but it probably also has something to do with identifying the weapon. It might mean
Right.
something's serrated.
Yeah, serrated
Which-
edge. It makes sense.
Right.
Which would be different again to what we've seen.
And we heard serrated too,
Mm-hmm.
way in the beginning.
Yeah, so there does seem to be, like, I don't know if somebody like with more experience in this field can explain why there would be these different shapes, but there are different shapes, and I think that is something that's kind of what Turvey was.
Maybe
Yeah.
Joseph Scott Morgan did something on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
have to look for something with Joseph Scott Morgan.
Yeah. My understanding is that it's describing different weapons, or I suppose what a lot of people point to is that it could be different uses of the same one.
The same one.
Yeah. Maybe. All right. Number 14. At the right temple is an approximately 3/4 by 3/16 inch linear stab wound orientated from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. The 12 o'clock end is squared, and the 6 o'clock end is sharp. An approximately 1/2 inch linear abraded tail extends inferiorly, so downward, from the 6 o'clock end. So that's back to that other shape where it's like a single edge blade. So it's very weird to me. Okay, 15. At the tip of the nose is a 5 by 16 by 132 inch superficial linear incised wound. And they're saying superficial, so it's not a deep wound. Okay. Number 16. On the upper right lip is approximately 1 by 1/16 inch linear incised wound with slight undermining and extending inferiorly. 17 to 21. On the left cheek is a cluster of at least 5 stab wounds ranging from 1/4 to 1 inch in length and 1/8 to 3/16 inch in width, orientated in various directions. At least 3 of these wounds show one squared end and one sharp end. Yeah, I agree with that. 22. The lower labial mucosa shows multiple parallel intersecting superficial and deep incised wounds, resulting in curled strips of oral mucosa and exposed oral musculature, which is muscle. Because these wounds coalesce, the exact count cannot be determined. I don't know what coalesce means. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's saying about the teeth being knocked out.
Yeah.
Sharp defects on the tongue from the teeth and tooth fragments. My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's that. Oof.
Yeah. Okay, 23 to 24. On the anterior neck are 2 gaping, curvilinear incised wounds with somewhat irregular edges and undermining, extending inferiorly, each measuring approximately 4 inches in length and up to 1 inch in width. The superior wound shows focal, irregular dark brown abrasions at the superior and inferior wound edges. The inferior wound shows focal, yellow tan abrasion at the inferior wound edge. Okay. So now it's the stab and incised wounds of the torso, and there's 11. Okay. So 1 and 2. On the medial upper left chest, above the left clavicle, is a gaping 3/4 by 1/2 inch stab wound, orientated from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Both ends are rounded. I don't know why it's different. The underlying soft tissue shows 2 distinct linear defects. Yeah.
Just like with Maddie's chest. Same situation.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. One weapon for the face, one for the chest? Is that what we're seeing?
I don't know, because this one has rounded, which I'm not sure what that even means. But it sounds like something else to me.
Maybe a third.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Never thought of it. Okay.
Okay, so 3 and 4, extending from the upper left chest over the anterior left shoulder, are 2 parallel curvilinear incised wounds, measuring 3 to 3/4 by up to 1 inch superior and 5 to 1/2 by up to 1 to 1/4 inches inferior, with undermining extending superiorly. So downward as well. Okay, number 5. On the anterior left chest, above the left breast, is an approximately 1 to 1/4 by 5/16 inch stab wound, orientated from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The 10 o'clock end is squared, and the 4 o'clock end is sharp. Six and 7. On the anterior left chest, at the superior aspect of the left breast, are 2 approximately 1 to 1/4 by 3/16 inch stab wounds, orientated from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock superior and 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock inferior. The 4 o'clock and 3 o'clock ends are squared, and the 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock ends are sharp. Number 8. On the anterior left chest, and anterior means it's the front of the person, at the medial aspect of the left breast is an approximately 1 to a quarter by 3/8 of an inch linear stab wound orientated from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The 9 o'clock end is sharp and the 3 o'clock end is squared.
Okay, so I'm not trying, and again, this is a whole trigger warning the whole show. Was the killer attacking her breasts too? Is that what I'm reading?
No,
No?
I don't think so. I think it
Just that
was.
there was a wound. I mean,
I think that it was
medial
about the.
aspect. What is that?
So the medial aspect is. It means that it's towards the midline of the body, so it's medial as opposed to lateral, which is going away from the body's center if it's in an anatomical
So
position.
not that it's a injury of the left breast, but it's of the left breast directionally.
Yes, so all of the anatomic positions will just help you get a location on the body. So if it's medial, then if it's medial to something, then it's towards the middle. So that is what they're saying. I think that the
Okay.
injuries there are about that, and you could see the associated findings are the incised intercostal artery and vein. So
Okay.
I think that's what
I
it
was
is.
just curious because we already know we went after her beauty on her face, and I just didn't know if this sick fucker went after specific parts of her fucking body,
Yeah.
not
I
not
think
just the face.
I think that they're just trying to give like they're trying to
Yeah, I
just
got what you're
describe.
saying. Yeah, I got what you're saying. I was just what I was like. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like we already know went after her, her face. I just, I don't know some of these terms, so that's why I had to ask.
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm
didn't
trying
mean
to
to
remember
derail.
to explain all of the terms, but sometimes I
I'm
also
just like,
forget
wait a
if
minute,
I. No.
like I gotta ask. I gotta stop you and ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please do.
My bad.
Please. Okay. 9 to 11 on the anterior right chest at the medial aspect of the right breast is a gaping approximately 1 to a quarter by half-inch stab wound orientated from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Both ends are rounded again. So the underlying soft tissue shows 3 intersecting linear defects. Okay, so now it's stab and incised wounds of the upper extremities, and there are 3. Number 1, on the lateral left upper arm is approximately 3 by 5/16 inch linear incised wound. And lateral is the opposite of medial, so it's going that way, not that way. Not towards the midline, but away from it.
Do that again. Going what way? What way?
So lateral. Don't do that. Lateral is away from the body's midline, and medial is towards. So this is the midline. That's towards. That's away. So that's lateral. That's medial.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I had to highlight you too so you could show everybody. All right. Well, because I couldn't see what you were doing from here on StreamYard, so I literally did have to solo highlight you to see what you were doing.
It makes me nervous to get
Didn't mean to put you on
like,
the spot there.
All right. So number 2, on the posterior left upper arm is approximately half by an 1/8 inch linear stab wound orientated from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The 8 o'clock end is squared and the 2 o'clock end is sharp. And I think, I mean, I might have missed one, but I've read a lot of the wounds, or all of the wounds until now, are anterior. This one's posterior, so this is behind from the back, I think, is what they're saying here. Yeah. All right. Number 3. On the left elbow is an approximately 7/16 by an 1/8 inch linear incised wound with irregular edges. Rectangular red contusion extends medially from the medial end of this wound. So there's like it's a contusion, and I guess they're saying that there is a shape to it. So bruising with an object.
Okay.
Clothing. The shirt worn by the decedent shows defects corresponding with the stab wounds of the torso. So again, they're confirming that there was no changing of clothes or anything like that. Weapon. Based on characteristics of the least distorted wounds, the findings are consistent with a blade approximately 1 to 3/16 to 1 to a quarter inch in width and approximately 5/32 to 3/16 in thickness, with a double-edged, segmented, and a single-edged segment. So it does. I mean, they're not describing the same thing.
Right. So how could they? Because they're describing with a blade, not blades, singular, not plural. But then this is different.
To be honest with you, I don't understand what they're a double-edged segment and a single-edged. I don't understand that. I read it earlier and I don't know what they mean.
I think there are some knives out there that have maybe on the part closest to the tip of the blade is going to maybe be just one-edged, and then as you go up the blade, it might have serrated parts, and then another sharp edge, and then maybe another serrated segment towards the handle, depending on like if it's a tactical knife or something.
I think the K-bar has the square
but the
edge.
K-bar is not. Yeah,
it's got the square edge.
Yeah, so what confuses me about this is that I don't see from reading the autopsies, I don't see what is suggesting that it's one diverse knife versus multiple knives. I don't see how that distinction has been made. So that's why I don't know. I thought that they would have put that it could have been either or a combination thereof or something like that. But they seem pretty emphatic there that it's what you're describing, which you described well. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I do find it interesting, Rosee, that the K-bar knife, the blade itself, is at least 7 inches in length. And even on Kaylee, there's still that control of depth. And I don't know that really indicates that this K-bar was really used, because you've got to really have good self-control in that moment, because you're also probably fighting them, but also trying to, cause all that damage that you're intending to. And you're also only going no deeper than like 2 inches.
Yeah.
So to me, that's 7 inches of length that you're controlling in a chaotic situation. I don't know that K-bar was the weapon. It seems like it should be a smaller weapon.
Yeah, sir. And I think that can also. I'm trying to think of a way to explain this. I think, and I'm just thinking about this logically. I don't know if this is like a standard measure of the depth that the weapon went to, but I think that probably the bruising, if there was bruising around the wound, could tell them if there was that impact, as in it went the whole the whole blade.
Yeah, the whole until it stopped at that.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
I'm not. That's just something that I'm curious about as well. I don't know if that's something that they use to measure it. But
brings up a great point too. The control aspect of being held down, pinned against a wall, pinned against an object.
Yeah.
That makes the control aspect would make
Yeah.
the wounds would be pretty consistent
Yeah,
with
but
that. Yeah,
it
I'm
is
surprised they weren't deeper. Honestly, these are they're not that deep. They're really not. Like when you have a K bar, which can literally go 5 times what we're seeing for these injuries, that I'm really shocked that none of these wounds so far, because I haven't read the other ones yet, but none of these wounds so far have exceeded 2 inches. That's shocking to me.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where I'm at a disadvantage where I've studied everything in centimeters. I don't know what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I don't know
So
how many centimeters are in an inch.
where's Busby? He should tell us. But
Yeah, how
um
many centimeters are in an inch?
yeah,
Well,
so
I'm just
that
going off of what's in these documents. I haven't
mhm,
seen anything larger
yeah.
than typically 2 inches on any of these wounds so far in these documents. It's an inch and something has been, you know, um, I haven't seen 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. I haven't seen that, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean is shocking that there wasn't any of these wounds so far that like actually like we were talking about the knife goes all the way in until it gets stopped
Yeah.
from that barrier. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
shocking.
I understand why Jennifer's asking that now that you're explaining that as well. Um just from what we know about a K-bar, I would expect
I mean,
probably about like 15
especially if you're
centimeters.
trying to really do your job as the person that's committing the crime, you would think farther in, quicker you get to your objective, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there were a fair amount of incisions as well, and I don't we can't know if that was intentional or if that was
Hmm.
during while struggling or anything like that, or if they were mindful of the arteries that they were targeting. Like, how much knowledge did they have of that?
Yeah, we'll have to do this will be the episode for Maddie and Kaylee. We'll have to do Ethan and Xana on like a part 2, so to speak, but really we're just finishing the other half. That'll be towards the end of the week, probably Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So look for Ethan and Xana's next weekend sometime when we'll be able to do that. Yeah, and then the facial injuries were shallow too. That was kind of again shocking to me because you would think if you're going to injure, I mean, you would think going through the cheek, not just nipping, not a nip. So I don't know. It is kind of weird. It makes me wonder how did everything go down in there? Because I would expect deeper wounds in any part of the body,
Yeah,
and I'm not seeing that so far. So it's I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like, was it that
yeah,
controlled? And if it was that controlled in that short amount of time, dude, you had to be one of like, why wasn't the CIA hiring you to be a fucking assassin? You know, like
yeah,
seriously, like, whoa,
yeah, yeah.
whoa.
And that was also like I was kind of interested to, because like I said in the beginning that they're noting these injuries in the order that they examined them. They're not trying to imply that they happened in this order. They're going, you know, down, like that's how they've divided it up. But
Yeah.
I would be very interested to know the order because it will show you their level of fatigue as they're moving through this entire crime. So, and I know
Yeah.
that they probably can't tell us that really, but it would be interesting to know. Like, I think it would tell us a lot about them and how they managed all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there more to go on? I see there's 18. Um, is there more to go into on?
Mhm.
There is? Okay. I don't want to pull you past where you were trying to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I think He deserves like the full.
Yeah, where do you want me
It's
to
difficult.
where do you want me
Yeah.
to head to?
Okay.
On this one right
So
here, blunt force fix.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
What's up,
Head
senior?
and Fine. Head and neck petechial hemorrhages are prominently visible on the bulbar conjunctivae and oral mucosa. Confluent purple contusion extends over the mandibular, alveolar, and lower labial mucosa. The bridge of the nose shows irregular dark red abrasion measuring half an inch in greatest dimension. Rectangular 1/16 by 3/4 inch dark red abrasion extends along the left inferior periorbital skin. So that's like the skin around the eye. Palpation and manipulation reveal nasal bone fractures. So that means that when they were doing the examination, they had to feel with, I guess, with their hands to know what was going on. There are bilateral periorbital ecchymosis, bruising, punctate red abrasions, and a linear 3/4 inch abrasion extend across the anterior aspect of the nose. Curvilinear brown abrasions extends over the left cheek, described above. Blue contusion is present over the lateral left cheek. Parallel linear purple contusions extend transversely from the right perioral skin across the right cheek, intersecting with approximately 3-inch rectangular abraded contusion extending diagonally over the right cheek to the right preauricular skin. So that's like just in front of the ear. I forgot I had these on. The skin superior to this set off injuries shows a set of delicate transverse superficial red tan abrasions ranging in length from 1/8 to 1/4 inch. Superior to these is a deeper transverse 3/4 inch linear red abrasion with irregular edges. So I think what they're getting into here is, I mean, I think they're alluding to some kind of an object. They are talking about texture. Does seem to have texture, the abrasions. A rectangular purple contusion with central sparing extends transversely from the left perioral skin across the left cheek. The skin inferior to this contusion shows transverse half-inch linear red abrasion with irregular edges. The occipital scalp shows 2 linear partial thickness lacerations measuring approximately 1 to 1/2 inch superiorly and 1 to 3/4 inches inferiorly. The inferior wound shows surrounding red tan abrasion extending up to 1/2 inch from the wound edges and more prominent inferiorly. There is associated subscapular and subglacial hemorrhage. Okay, intracranial examination reveals a thin film of subdural hemorrhage, more prominent at the inferior aspects of the frontal lobe and the right temporal lobe. There's patchy subarachnoid hemorrhage, most prominent at the inferior aspects of the frontal and temporal lobes and cerebellum. Parenchymal contusions involve the inferior frontal lobes and the temporal pole.
Chris Cuomo Project.
Yeah.
I did it, Mom.
Hold on. Okay. The internal. So this was the part that we also skipped before, but I feel like I don't know why I feel like we missed something.
We missed something?
Yeah, I probably skipped over it. Because I noted it because of. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for doing this too. Breaking it down. We'll be doing Xana and Ethan's next weekend. We'll figure out the details with the three of us in the background so we can all be on again together.
Okay. The reason it was on wound number 7, and it was the associated findings, which I skipped. But I did make a note of going to that one.
Number
It's
7,
also
6 to 7.
no, it is number 7. It's on page 5.
Page 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Page 5, number 7. Okay.
Okay.
You wanted to make a
And
note about this one.
the associated findings, this is really difficult. Like this is trigger warning on top of trigger warning, but this is when you've spoken before about that. I don't know how you.
Yeah, her face because I couldn't be when I was a couple weeks after the crime happened, somebody reached out, gave me the exact description of her facial injuries. I couldn't be descriptive because I didn't know if it was true or not at that time. But the best way that I could explain to people was that if your face is like this and this is your nose, it was like her face was like this. So if that's your nose, her face was like that, is what I was describing to people in the very beginning of what I was told. And as time went on, we found out that what I was told was fucking true. So yes, regarding the face of doing that versus that, major trigger warning. What's up, Rosee?
Yes. No, so this is that. So the associated findings, where they're describing the defects and how they are posteriorly displaced. That means that there's a bone that's broken and it goes backwards. So I wanted to note that because, you have mentioned it before. You have explained it, and you've explained it with your hands. But this is the
Thank
words.
you. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate that. That's cool. Thank you for doing that. Because I was shit. People were bashing me because they were like, "How do you fucking know?" And I'm just like, "Look, I don't. I'm not saying I know, and I'm not saying it's for sure." And I was respectful about it because we're talking about a victim, and I didn't want to describe like specific shit. So that was the best way for me to describe it. And there's a lot of people that just, wanted to be negative about it back then. And it's like, no, this is what I'm being told. Like, I'm not saying it's true, but, after time goes on and you see, it's like, wow, that shit from whenever that, from way back then, it's like, wow. It's because you always wondered from then, was this really true? And then as time goes on, different things show you like, holy shit, it really was. It's kind of weird. It's like going back in time in your brain because you're like, holy shit. You remember when you got the information, all that stuff. And then you're like, whoa, this shit was happening. All right. Yeah. So where do I...
So that is everything. At the end of Maddie's one, you scrolled a little bit so that people could just see the.
Okay, so I think it was. You read this already, I believe.
We've gone through all of that, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'll just slowly scroll until you tell me where to stop. That way, everybody can see what's on the documents if they ain't able to access them.
Yeah.
And they can pause it.
Just while we're talking, this is the same as it was with Maddie when they're doing the internal examination. They're just explaining that obviously aside from what happened, that it was still normal. Like there's nothing natural that would have resulted in them passing away or in Kaylee passing away.
420 Angel H, what's up? Has a question. What does it mean when they say front to back for the injury?
So it means that there's a posterior origin, there's an anterior origin, and it's moving posteriorly. So it's moving from the front of the person to the back of the person. And I think those were described on arms, on the deltoid region.
Okay. I'm just scrolling through what they have here, just like we did for Maddie's. If you're just joining, we did Maddie's in the first segment. This segment we're doing Kaylee's, and then next weekend sometime we're gonna do Xana and Ethan's. And Stone had dropped a comment recently about she couldn't wait to hear the discussion about one of Ethan's injuries, specifically on his hand. So have you gone through those yet, Rosee? You have not.
No.
Okay.
No, I admit I read the first two, and then I didn't get time to get to the others.
Okay, so let's see. So that was Kaylee's autopsy report there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you helping us out, because there's like some words I wouldn't, or even the descriptions or how I really appreciate you taking the time. Sorry we couldn't do all four today, but I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of explain things and break it down. And because there's, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I don't know a lot of these words, and when there's confusion, then there's no understanding, and therefore, do you get the whole picture? And so thank you for explaining all that stuff and breaking it all down for us. Really appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I'm when it comes to these so far, and I'm sure the other two that we go through are going to kind of be more revealing for me too. It was actually, I was thinking just going through some documents, we're going to see the specifics or whatever, but it was crazy because, like I said a little bit ago, it's like we had more of the picture painted of what was actually going down the morning of the crime.
Yeah.
It
I think it
definitely
leaves-
does that. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It just leaves a lot of questions, because I just never really believed the K-bar knife story. And you go through the autopsy, and thank you for being able to explain so we understand what we're reading. And it just again brings up so many questions about the weapon. Was that really the weapon that was used? Because those findings in the autopsy are they're so contradictory, and there's so many different shapes that just really, there's so many questions now.
Yeah, like now it makes me wonder, because this whole time we heard it was one, we've mentioned being two, there's been a lot of different weapons that have been mentioned from the very beginning. We were the one that got the Batsheti out there in the very beginning, the photo of it from when we were scouring the social media accounts of the students. And now after reading some of these, I'm wondering if there was a third. Now when we went through these two, I'm like, damn, it almost seems like there was two used at the same time, specifically for same parts of the body of multiple victims so far. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next two when we dig through the next two later this weekend. It makes me wonder about a third now. So I kind of want to go over these documents again, re-watch this show myself, and kind of listen to the conversation again, because I'm sure there's some things I might have for a split second missed or something like that. So I feel like I need to re-watch this again myself and listen to it again, just to get, I know I missed something, so I'm gonna might even watch a third time just to see if I keep picking up more things, because there's so much to it. And it's shocking. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that I was going to feel this way. I didn't know I was going to feel this way, have some of these questions that I do right now. And then also I didn't know I was gonna feel like, holy shit, this whole time I thought certain things happened inside that house. And now reading these documents, it's like, whoa, it's even more brutal than what I thought this whole time. And then also, like how it kind of happened. Like I said, like I thought this whole time Maddie was asleep. And now we
Yeah.
see, no, she wasn't asleep. She woke the F up. Oh. And then to know like the other injuries that we didn't know about her face and stuff like that. It's just like, God damn. Damn.
I don't know why the facial injuries bother me the most. You can almost feel them
Right,
when you're reading
right.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Especially,
Yeah.
from the back of the head to the tip of the nose and just, the retainer in Kaylee's mouth, because this whole time, I never, again, you're getting revealed more of what actually, how the killings went and what they went through. And like the retainer, like in Kaylee's mouth, and
Yeah.
picturing a car in a car accident, and that's what's happening to your mouth, and it's shoving that retainer between the injuries in the back of your throat. And how are you supposed to scream?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to think
Yeah, I
of them
couldn't
going
imagine
through
what
that
that
too.
felt
Yeah,
like.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
I don't know if like I guess this is not normal. Like it's probably strange, but when I was reading through the internal examinations and they were kind of just going through how everything was normal and healthy, that was also very upsetting because it just showed you like how young they were and how they were, they kind of had their whole lives ahead of them. Like that was reiterated for me when they went through each organ and they were like, it was fine, it was healthy, there was nothing natural that could have contributed to
right.
any of this. So I found that very upsetting and I didn't expect to.
Yeah. And then the wounds, how they're not that deep either. To me, I just assumed that they would have been
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
length,
Yeah.
or splatter or something. So now it makes me, I already questioned the effectiveness of the crime inside in that small amount of time already. But now to see that it wasn't, there was no, like I said in the beginning of this episode, one of the things that shocked me about the crime scene photos when they dropped back then was there was not a lot more splatter, right? So now, before we went into these, I'm like, okay, the wounds had to be deep as hell then. And the wounds so far are not, I'm sure they're, when we get to Ethan, we saw the blood outside the house, but so far I'm sitting there like, wow, the beginning of this crime, because they were up there first, to me, the beginning of this crime started off so damn effective, way more effective than what I even imagined, because I questioned the crime and the time limit. So now you add even more Batman shit to it, and I'm just like, how did the CIA not see this person before they came a freaking killer and hired him to be an assassin? Like, that's wild shit. And then with not leaving evidence behind except for a sheath. Like, dude, no DNA in your shit, no DNA you left behind except for that. The time limit, the no splatter. It wasn't some Quentin Tarantino movie, It was like so freaking effective.
Yeah.
How?
And I also, because I saw Witchy Was make the comment a few times that these wounds take time to inflict. And I noticed that, but then I saw the comment again. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this was not, like, I don't see this as an in and out, like just done,
Crazy. It's no.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. There's just I already had so many questions. I have so many more just from these documents. I can't wait to get into the next couple and kind of have this crime be more revealed. To me, it's wild. Like I said, I didn't think I was gonna come out of this post show sitting there going, "Holy shit!" Like things that I thought took place for the last few years, it was beyond that and more brutal. I'm just it's mind effing to me. It's a mind f. It's just like, whoa! I did not expect this. So thank you so much, Rosee, and thank you so much, Jennifer, for hanging out today. I can't wait to do the next one later this weekend. We'll have a notification out early, just once we can figure out the details behind. And wow, crazy stuff. So if you guys want to watch more, we had a couple shows yesterday. Yesterday morning, we did a show with all three of us talking about different cases. I think we touched on Idaho 4, Nancy Guthrie, Anna Kepner, Idaho 4. There was another one. I can't remember. Just chatted about a few different. Yes, Sharilla. Last night, if you want to watch more of us, and we're not, after we're done, you want to watch more of us, watch last night's show. It'll be funny, but at the same time, it'll be like, where am I? Like, you're gonna pinch your skin. You're gonna be like, is this real? Yeah, the whole time. So, and definitely check out Rosee's whenever that notification comes out, whatever day that is. Rosee's breakdown of Steve's Cuomo interview. You're definitely hang out for that whenever she has it scheduled. You'll get the noti for that too. So yeah, Wednesday. You already have it in your mind when you're doing it. Wednesday.
Yes. Well, that's my day off. So
well, there you
it'll
go.
Be Wednesday.
Wednesday is when Rosee's gonna cover that interview.
We should have a watch party to watch Rosee's reaction.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging out. Again, please hit the like if you haven't subscribed. If you're not, share this out to your friends. It's a free way to help us get in this algorithm, because YouTube don't really like us so far, because we're just we're here. But also, don't forget to sub up to Rosee Overtime and My True Crime with Jennifer G. If you haven't clicked that links yet and went and subbed up, I'm going to drop them again as we exit the show. And have a peaceful and positive afternoon. I'm going to be taking tomorrow night off, but I'll be back Tuesday. We're going to be covering Bubba's interview with the Mackenzie Sharilla murders. And then I think we're going to be going over some documents, Idaho 4, and some other stuff I kind of want to touch on for that show too. So that'll be coming up later this week, but you'll basically see us Tuesday through Sunday each week, and Monday is going to be my night off. So I don't know if I might be back tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. If I do come back on live tonight, it's going to be a last minute kind of thing. I'm definitely going to go hang out at the lounge and chill back and do some gaming or stuff. But I thought about, because I haven't been able to fit any live calls in any of the shows this week, I thought about maybe just chilling back and talking about a bunch of different cases and taking calls. So we'll see, though. We'll see what's going on. Usually on Sunday nights, I'm not going to be doing anything, but I kind of feel like hanging out and taking some calls since we weren't able to this week. So thank you guys so much again. Sub the links as I drop them as we end the show. Thank you both for your time. And I can't wait to see you all on the next live. Appreciate you guys very much. The realest reporting of all media right here. We're not going to tell you what you want to hear. We're going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's the important thing. No click BS bullshit going on here. We love you guys. Thank you.